Can you say that because you have come up with something and then you put a name to it and then you put a logo to it and then you put a label to it, does that mean it's a brand? Let's be very sincere to ourselves. Does it mean that it's a brand?
Brand Talks with Mary Jo Udochi.
Hi everyone, my name is Mary Jo Udochi. I am a brand strategist as well as a brand identity developer. And this is my second vlog on Brand Talks. I think I should stop using the term vlogs. Okay, scratch that. This is my second episode on Brand Talks. The first one I talked about brand promise, knowing how to keep your brand promise, very, very important. You can go to the previous post on this page, and also please go to YouTube and search for Brandhut.ng, Brandhut.ng. Like, subscribe, comment. I'm new to this thing, do you get? So I'm not really a vlogger, but I have to do this thing because I want to impact knowledge. I want to create value, right? And today we'll be talking about products versus brands. Today's episode will help you to distinguish between a product and a brand, especially in today's markets where the competition is getting high. Most of us still have this wrong idea of what a brand really means. So, before I get deep into this whole talk, let me define what a product is. So, a product is anything that you push to the market for attention, for acquisition, for consumption. In order to satisfy the human wants and human needs. So, a product could be a physical good like a cereal. It could be a service like an insurance company. It could be a person like a political figure, an athlete. It could be a place like a country, a city, your village is a product, yes. So basically anything that you push to the market that satisfies the human wants, that's a product. But can you say that because you have come up with something and then you put a name to it and then you put a logo to it and then you put a label to it, does that mean it's a brand? Let's be very sincere to ourselves. Does it mean that it's a brand? If that product that you have pushed to the market does not influence people to buy, I'm sorry, it's not a brand. Okay, I'm going to explain further. But then let me explain to you what a brand is. And let me just give you a brief summary of how the term brand started. It started from the old Norse people. They were nomads. I don't know if you've watched Vikings, those Vikings that have the horns and all of that. Yeah. Branding has existed like centuries ago by these nomads. And what they do is that they burn their cows. Now that act of burning is what is called brand R. Brand R, BRANDR. And that is where the word brand was coined. Then afterwards, and in 1960, the American Marketing Association defined a brand as a name, term, sign, symbol, design, or a combination of them intended to identify the goods and services of a seller and to differentiate them from its competitors. Right now, this was defined in 1960. They've been, if you want to compare what happened in 1960 to what is happening right now in the market, things have really changed. strategies have changed and will be changing, right? The competition has gotten very high. Everything is choked up right now. There are 8,001 people doing the same thing that you were doing. So, will it be safe for you to still hold on to this definition of what a brand is? No. In this modern age and time, right? A brand is a name that has the power to influence. A lot of people are busy. They don't have the time to go to hundreds of places searching for the cheapest shoes or the most original shoes, or the best of the product. When they want to buy something, they first of all think of the brand. What is popping? What is that name that rings a bell when I want to purchase something? If your product or your service does not command trust, does not command loyalty, does not command respect, it's not a brand. If your product does not influence people to buy, it's not a brand. A lot of people do not have that time to go to 1,001 places searching for the best shoes, searching for the cheapest shoes, literally searching for whatever they want to buy. They don't have the time to click. It's very tiring for you to have to go to different websites just to get a product. So even before they make up their mind to make a purchase, subconsciously they go through the top 5 names that can come to their head that is tied to that particular product, and they go straight to buy it. Okay, now if your product does not ring a bell in people's head when they want to make a purchase, it's not a brand. So a brand is a name that has the power to influence when people trust it, when people know it, and when people are convinced by it. So if I walk into a store, or if I want to make a purchase, right? In my head there are like 3 brands, or let me use the word brand. There are 3 names that pops in my head. 3 names that I know that are tied to that product. It makes it very easy for me. I just go to the website, or I just go to the store and I go straight to that brand. Even if I look around, right? But because this is a brand that I know, because this is a name that I know, a name that sounds familiar, right? A name that I can trust. This is a name that I know that will bring me value. I go for it straight up. Now that is a brand. A brand has the power to influence when there is a community around it. In fact, today's world of branding is about creating a community. When a lot of people know your product, engage with it, they buy it, they tell several people. The more people hear about your product, the more it becomes a brand. Your product has to be desirable for it to be a brand. And the more people know about it, the more brand power it has, the more purchasing power it has, the more it is able to influence people to buy. And then the second, please, all these things that I'm saying, right? I am tying it to today's world of branding. I'm tying it to today's market. So that's like my first definition of a brand. A brand is a name that has the power to influence the market. My second definition, I'm just going to summarize this talk because branding is very vast, you get, and you have to take it bit by bit. My second definition would be when a product or a person is more than a product or a person, then it's a brand. I'll take it again. When a product or a person is more than a product or a person, then it's a brand. Is it confusing? Their names and their names. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Now, in explaining this, I'm going to use three people as an example. People that I know that that you can relate with, right? I'll use Tacha. Tacha is a reality TV star. I'll use Davido. Davido is an artist, an entertainer, a musician. I'll use Funke Akindele. Funke Akindele is an actress. Now, if you look at these three people, right, they've been able to build a community around them. Now, it's not like they came out and say, oh, all you people come to me, right? They just happen to have people, a large number of people that sort of got emotionally connected to them and see them as icons. They idolize them. They want to be like them. They influence them, right? So you would call these people brands. And I can put it to you that there are some names that you will hear and you won't even move. Like you won't even want to know what's going on about them. There are some names that you will hear and you'll be on your feet like, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? They come up with a slang and it goes viral. You hear no leave, no transfer. You hear it choke. You see people want to mimic Jennifer. Which is Funke Akindele. You hear people want to mimic her, right? These people can be considered as brands. Because they're brands, they choose the kind of businesses that they want to associate themselves with or that they want to help influence. Because they have a set of value. And if that value does not align with that product or that business or that idea, they will say no. Rather than focusing on just making money or short-term goals, they look at the bigger picture. They look at the long-term goal. Now, that is one of the key things about brand management. Brand management is basically about defining one's value, accepting no compromise over these values, thinking long-term rather than pursuing short-term profits, and consistency. So I hope now you can be able to differentiate between what a product is and what a brand is. And I want to let you know that a business can grow from being just a product to a brand and fall back to being a product. Like I said, in today's world of branding, it's about community. It's almost getting to that point where I would say no fans, no brand. If your product does not ring a bell in people's choice of purchase, it's not really a brand. So I would advise that you stop holding on to the American Marketing Association's definition of a brand, right? To seeing a brand as a name that has the power to influence the market. Let me go through some other points I know that actually defines what a brand is. It's a name that means a trusted promise, a name that denotes a benefit or a set of values in people's minds, a name that adds value beyond the utility of the product it signifies, a name with the power to influence the market, a name that creates desire and loyalty, a name that makes people forget the price, the name of a remarkable value proposition, the name commanding respect, admiration, love, and passion, a name that can create a community around its value. That you have a product, a name, a logo, a sticker, whatever it is, a label, whatever, that you have a product does not necessarily mean that that's a brand. So we have to be careful in distinguishing between a product and a brand. And I need you to understand that people do not buy products, they buy brands. When I want to drink a soda, I go for Coke. When I want to buy a shoe, I know the brand that I'm going for. When I want to take a cereal, I take Golden One or I take Nasco. There are 1,001 cereals in the market that people do not know. In coming episodes, I'm going to talk about ways. I'll go deeper into ways that you can grow from a product to a brand. It's very fast, but I'm going to stop here for now. Stay locked. Follow Brandhut on all social media platforms. We are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Thank you. Catch you guys later.
Brand Hot, elevating brands.